I'm back again. I got some new settings on Instagram, which is very alarming at first, I'm not gonna lie, because normally I have to go to like a special spot and download the video, but now it's like, do you want to download it now? And I was like, well, yeah, obviously. And then I freaked out because I was like, well, if I choose no, am I gonna be able to do it later? So I chose yes, and then it was like, we could not download your video. And I was like, no, don't play games with me. Oh, you love it and you hate it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, goodness. I just don't want to lose the videos because for the February one, I always make sure I upload them. So, or to YouTube, you know? So, I'll try my best at least. Okay. So, it's so soothing along with your voice. I think I have the world's most annoying voice, I'm not gonna lie. Hi again, I'm so excited for this book. Yay! I'm excited to have you. All right, let me put away this stuff. As I told you guys before, I'm not gonna go through all of the general materials again, because the general materials are the same for the book and the bouquet. So there's really no reason to go through them all again, and it will just make the video super, super long. So yeah, what you are going to need though, is you're going to need something to trace your pattern onto your fabric. So get your favorite utensil, and you're going to need that. Right. The other thing that you're going to need is obviously scissors to cut your thread. Okay. You're going to need a needle to stitch with, obviously. Okay. But just really, really quick, we're going to go through all the stuff that you're going to need. So the first thing is you're going to need a large piece of paper. So piece of fabric. All right. And I'm just going to make it a bit bigger so you can see, right? It genuinely is quite a large piece of fabric. The exact dimensions are in the pattern. I'm going to tell you what they are right now. I have a feeling, come on. I have a feeling it's something, it's by 16, 21 inches by 16 inches. So it's 21 inches long and it's 16 inches tall. Okay. And the reason for this is because we need some extra space around our pattern in our paper so that we can use a hoop to stitch it in. Okay. You do not have to have that. You could just do it like this and kind of not stitch it into a hoop and just kind of freehand the edges if you wanted to. That's okay too. I find it a little bit easier to put it in a hoop, especially if you're working on a lot of different sections. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. First, you need to have your fabric laid out. I actually ironed mine this time, which if you've been here for a stitch along, you know, I don't really like to do that. I'm not a big ironing girl. But you're going to lay your fabric out like this. Okay. And what I've got is we've got our things printed out. So the one with the squiggly lines goes over to the right, and the one with your name and the wildflower thing goes over to the left. Okay. You can either tape these together if you wanted to, so that you know exactly where they go. It's completely up to you. Okay. You can tape them right down the middle if you want. It's up to you. What we're going to do though is we need to trace all of this onto our paper. Okay. So the first thing is to put them, it's your favorite, whatever your favorite way of tracing is, I would say. So if you like to use your iPad, use your iPad. You can do it that way. If you want to cut all of these up into little sections, you can do it that way. What I did is literally just go like this. And I actually hung the first one on my window because that was the easiest way. But for this one, what you're going to need to do, I actually don't have the right pen that I wanted, but that's okay. What you're going to need to do, I'll show you on the top, is the first thing is to outline both pages. Okay. So literally, outline all of it. Okay, and the reason for this is because we need to know where to cut later, and we need to know where to stop stitching. We need to know where the edge of our fabric is. Please do not run out of ink right now when I'm like trying to do this. Just please. Just please. Now look, if it's a little bit like weeble wobbly, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay? So there you go. That's what we've got. We've just got a rectangle on our paper. Okay? And what you're going to do is put this behind like this. So like I said, the one with the squiggles goes over to the right. The one with your name goes to the left. Okay? I would suggest putting this on a window, taping it to a window, taping your fabric over top of it so you can trace it on a nice, bright, sunny day. Unfortunately, I live in England and that just is not going to happen. So good luck to me, hey? My fault for living here. However, I purposely made these so that they're not super difficult except for your name and the writing. So everything else should be pretty easy to stitch. You can also use a sticky solvay if you want to. Can we use sticky solvay? Yeah, sure, if you want to. The only thing I would say not to do sticky solvay is clearly these ones, because they're going to be the woven wagon wheel roses, and you do not want to put sticky solvay on that because they're just going to mess up when you wash it off. Which is why on the free one, you could see I did just the lines, yeah? And then I'll go back, because I've washed the sticky solvay off now. I'll go back and weave over under each one to make them the roses afterwards, okay? But don't worry, I will say, like, if you're using sticky solvay, please do not do this right now. You can always come back later and do it. So what you are going to do is you're going to trace all the things, okay? So trace the line down the middle, line down the middle. If you've heard me talk about using your whole arm to trace before, this is what I mean. Keep your wrist nice and straight and solid, okay? And use your whole arm to trace. Don't go like this in little tiny circles. Try and use your whole arm when you're doing something this big. This one is always the most difficult because you can't really see where you're going. And if you haven't lined them up properly, then it looks a bit weird. Okay, so again. Just try and get like the idea of it, okay? It doesn't have to be super like exact, all right? Try and get the idea, especially over here. So for this one, I'm going to show you how to trace this one, because this right here is where a lot of people, I'm not going to say mess up, but they do it a little bit weird, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to do the outside edge like that. The thin parts are just going to be the size of your pen, and the thick parts, you're just going to make thicker. Okay. If it helps you to fill these in, like to actually color them in, you can, or you can just leave them like that. But what you do not want to do is do like this kind of thing. Do you see the difference? You don't want to outline the outline. These thin lines are literally just thin lines like that. Do not outline the thin parts. You only want to outline the parts that are thicker. Okay? Does that make sense? What I've seen people do before is they'll go like that, and then they'll go like this. And then they fill this in, and then they fill this in as well. But actually, we're only filling in the thick part here, and the thin parts are just going to be one bit of thread. Okay? So imagine we're doing like a brick stitch. Yeah? We're going to brick stitch all of this. Brick stitch, brick, brick, brick. Imagine these are bricks. Okay? And then these ones here are just going to be a back stitch. They're not going to be 2 lines of back stitch or 3 lines of back stitch, just 1 line of back stitch. And then these here are going to be a lot thicker. Okay? Okay? Sometimes I look at what I've drawn and I'm like, if they get it. Oh my God. It's going to be a miracle. Because what are you talking about, Tori? But I think I make sense. But I've seen a lot of people when they go to trace it, they trace the outline of the thin part. And then when they go to stitch it, they're like, I don't get it. And that's just because they've just traced it a little bit weird. So a couple of people have said it definitely makes sense. And I'm gonna trust that. So I'm not gonna do all of this, but I will say, if you're doing the little book, if you want to do a small book as well as the big book, just make sure that you are altering the number of strands. So if I say 2 strands for this, maybe you need to do just 1. Okay? Just make sure that you are making everything a bit smaller. All right? So that kind of goes for all the rest of the things. I don't think I need to do like the whole thing because it's just a bit boring for me to show me tracing. But there's that. If it's easier for you to cut them up into cards, so I did show a video where I had all the different cards, meaning that this right here is a page. If you want to just do this 1 page and then do each page, page by page by page, that's okay too. I would just suggest doing 1 big rectangle so that you know that they all fit in. If they print out a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, it's totally fine as long as they fit inside this rectangle. So if you've printed it and it goes outside of the rectangle, then you're going to have a slight issue. Okay. What else? I wanted to show you how we're actually going to make the book, because that is the thing that most people had a question about, whether to, like, how do I know which one goes where, and how do I know how do I set it up? It's literally just print the 2 pages and trace them onto your fabric like this. Okay. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. I promise. So I've also printed a small one like this so that I can show you how to make the book, because I think once you see how to make it, it will make you feel better about stitching it and making it. Okay. So after we've stitched all of it, what we're going to do is cut out this rectangle here. All this extra fabric is literally just extra fabric, so that as we're hooping the corners like this, we can use that extra fabric to really get down into the corners there. You don't have to use a 4-inch hoop. You can use a bigger one if you wanted to. That's just the one that I had right there at the minute. Okay, so when we do this, what we're going to do, you're going to fold your fabric. Yes, your fabric will fold. Okay, you're going to fold it like that. Yeah, you're going to fold it like that again. Then you're going to unfold it and fold it like that. Okay, so you've got basically you've got fold down the middle, a fold in the middle here at the top, and then a fold in the middle here. Okay, do you see? Yeah, and then what we're gonna do is with the fold facing you, yeah, the open side facing out, we're gonna cut that middle line so it looks like that. Yeah, okay, and then as we fold it again like this, we push these out like this so they fit together, and then this becomes the front page and this becomes the back page. Okay, so what we're gonna get is a little book that we've made. Yeah, like that. Okay, so I'll show you with this one because it really does work, I promise you. I've done it so many times with little kids. I promise you that if like a second grader can do it, like you can do it too. So we'll fold our fabric, yeah, in half. Pretend that this is not cut, yeah, and in half again. I like to fold it so that, so obviously this is the front page of the book. I like to fold it so that it's already creased like that, so that you have that fold where the front page is here and the back page is here. Do you know what I mean? If you fold it so it's like the other way, like this way first, sometimes it doesn't like lay nicely, you know? So normally when we do our books, like in art school, when I was an art teacher, I would always have them make the book first, and then, you know, because sometimes with paper, the way that you fold it will kind of make like an impression, like it will kind of like only want to fold that way for the next time, you know. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm only saying that this is the way that I've done it, you know. So we fold it like this. Okay, fold it like this down the middle. Yeah, you cut the middle open on the fold, not on the open part. If you do that, you've ruined it. Okay, so you want it to be connected at the bottom. You've got your fold at the top. And then I always do it like this. You hold it like this and you push these two things together, and you can save it. Yep. It'll be on YouTube as well. And I've also got one that I've done with paper. So, you can always go back to that one. So that's just like it's a fun thing to do. And like, if you've got kids at home, like if you've got kids at home, if you've got kids that you like keep out in a barn, why did I say that? But if you've got kids or if you're like a teacher or something like that, we do these kind of books all the time. Like we did one with like thumbprint, hearts. So we did like a small, you can do it with any size paper. You could even do it with a half a sheet of paper. Okay. So if you wanted to do it with like a half sheet of paper, let me do this one because I don't actually need this one. You can do these books really, really small. And they're super, super fun because all you need to do is just fold them. Okay, that's literally what we've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You cut it. And you can make them any size. Okay. So we did like thumbprint hearts. So you put your fingers in paint and you make little hearts. And we did like color mixing with the little kids. So I even had like first graders whose first language was not English making these little books with me. when I used to teach in Shanghai. So that's what we're doing. And then at the very last day, we're going to have the option if you want to stitch these pages together over the edges so that they are not open, you know, because you'll have some that have a fold, but some of them will be open like this. So if you want to stitch those closed, we can do that as well. Yeah. So there we go. Do we have questions about this one? About the book, Stitchalong? I've tried to be like as concise as I can. I was just thinking this would be great for an ABC's book. Yes. And the only bad part is that you only have so many pages. So like, obviously you've got like a front and you could do like A, B, C, D or something, you know, and you can make another book and stick it next to it if you really wanted to get more pages. But I'm telling you, once you know how to make them, they're super addicting because you can just see that there's all kinds of little things that you can make about them, you know, or make them about. And kids love them because they're super, super simple. It's literally, you just push them together like that. Now, if you folded it the other way, when you push it, they don't push out like that. If you fold it the other way, you know, they kind of tend to be folded up in. So you have to kind of finagle it a little bit, you know. But you can even make another book and then put them together, you know, bind them together on this part to have more pages. Like there's all kinds of things that you can do with these little books, these little paper books. But yeah, we use them for all sorts of things. They're also reminiscent of the like artist trading cards, except for instead of trading cards, you could trade books. I mean, I could go on and on, but I've been wanting to make these little books out of fabric for ages now. So yeah, if you make any other ones, please tag me because I'd love to see it. Any other questions about this? Because I'm getting a bit off track now. But like I said, if you want to do this size book instead of this size book, just make sure you use less strands because it is a lot smaller. So yeah, I mean, still super cute, but yeah. So if we don't have any questions, again, I'm going to love you and leave you so that you can set up your books. So you can trace them onto your fabric. If you have any questions about tracing, if you have any questions about literally anything, just let me know. If I haven't written your name yet, please flag me up again, okay? Because I'm not going to lie, I'm still getting people sending me messages about the things I posted about the United States last weekend. I'm still getting some not very nice messages about that. So it might have just gotten buried. I probably get about 20 a day, I'm not gonna lie. Anything from like, you don't even live here, to like, why do you care? And we're not talking about that though, okay? We're spreading love. So yeah, if you still need your name written, please let me know, okay? And I will get on that either this evening or tomorrow. We're not going to do the lettering tomorrow, so you do not need to have your name written by tomorrow. You can still trace literally everything except for your name, okay? Because it will be sized to the same size as this. Do you know what I'm saying? And then in your file, you also get the small book. That's a page, you know? So you get just this page here that has your name on it, but you also get the whole book that's like this size with your name on it, just in case you wanted to like make a small book or, I don't know, print it out and color it or something, whatever you want to do. So there we go. I hope you love this. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to start stitching. So like I said before, do not cut it now. Don't cut anything. All we're doing is tracing, okay? Trace your name. Trace all the things that I've drawn on here. Trace the outline, because we are going to need to do that. Trace the outline, and then that's it. Tomorrow we're going to start stitching, okay? So have the best night. Have the best day tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow around, I don't know, 8:30? Okay? Bye!